All right, top 10 most famous listened to regularly. And I was trying to do this on the basis of my whole life, or my whole life up to a certain point, I think. Like it's my life when I started buying records, in my 20s, when I got into it for the first time. And a lot of these are from that era, so, and, but they still, I still come back to them. Because, yeah, like currently, yeah, I'm not I'm buying a ton of records. And so it's like you're listening to one and then the next and then like, um, and finding out which ones you'll go back to and, the process. It's, yeah, but lately just had such good luck finding records at the flea market. It's just like, or just last weekend was just like, he had such a great pile of new titles, stuff. What did I get last weekend that I've been wanting for a while? Shit, I can't remember, but it's because I'm thinking about this stack. So, first one I got here is the Dukes of Stratosphere Sonic Sunspot. And this goes back to, reminds me of when we lived in this the little coach house on St. Matthias Place in Toronto. Really beautiful little apartment where Alice Munro apparently once lived in there in the 70s or something like that. And and this is this is XTC under, I don't even want to think of it as XTC. I just think of it as its own little thing. But here's one you can go after me on. I feel like I like this, especially this album. I don't really like 25 O'Clock as much. It's too Andy Partridge in your face. But I like this album better than XTC. Like, I think it's my favorite XTC, and I love XTC, but this one is so easy on the ears, and it's fun. It's like a fantasy band. I've been in a few bands like that where you're pretending it's the 60s, like in the Pine Cones, and then all the time in producing stuff, you're kind of pretending it's a different era. And yeah, beautiful, easy to listen to. Some of the songs sound like, there's a couple of them I thought like, it sounds like they're pre-parodying Oasis, like Kaleidoscope. It's like, but they're doing it, pre-parodying them and beating them at their own game by a long shot. Okay, then Beach Boys Today. Devin, if you see this, he just got into this album, and I feel like he actually knows the B-side better than I do now. But this one is from that same era I was describing when I really started buying my own records and going digging. But also I went to Neurotica on Queen Street, and I'd go to different record stores and find shit everywhere. And this is to me, this is a party album. And if it's my birthday or something, just coming up in a couple days, gonna be 46. But I was born to be 46, I was 46 when I was 11. And so was Brian Wilson. But this is the best Beach Boys record by far. And I love Pet Sounds for sure. I got like 4 copies of it, I think. And only one of this. Like, I've never seen this on the loose in the wild except for once when I first got it sitting in a dusty box in the street. And it's in rough shape, but I feel like that makes it even sound better. And this is one of those records that sounds the way it looks. Like, I feel like it just sounds exactly like this cover. So it's cohesive and really weird lyrics about it's getting into more interpersonal relationships, but the relationships are weird, like Don't Hurt My Little Sister, and the character that Mike Love assumes in that one where he says She thinks you're real groovy too, but I'm not sure that I feel the same. It's like he's kind of browbeating this guy that's interested in dating his sister. And then, but yeah, there's lots of weird stuff. And we were talking about that song on here, you know, where all the oh, she's my girl and I'm good to my baby. Like, you know, he's kind of, people think he's tough on her in public, but in private there's a different relationship. And yeah, really just beautiful and weird, and it's complete weirdos, I feel, but they're trying to be as normal as they can. And that's the Beach Boys thing I love. It's like just complete weirdos just trying to be as what their own perception of what normal is. And it's almost like an alien coming to Earth and trying to blend in. Really good. Oh, and then I got something else here by the Kinks. And this is my copy that I just got this summer. It's an original Pie. But we've had it for years. Donna had it. Donna got her brother to buy it for her birthday, an American pressing. And First American something else. And he took her to the record store and said, hey, pick out anything you want. And she picked out something else by the Kinks. And it was like $30 for a First American. So this tells you when that was. But I found this baby at the flea market for $20 or something. And for first UK pressing, that's I should have just given him more. That's a really good deal, and it's in good shape. But there is one ding on David Watts, a little ding. Okay, here we go. This could be maybe my number one of the, because these kind of records are what you play regularly, and a lot of them have a easy on the ears aspect of it. This one even does too in a way, but this one I feel like has got, it's just my favorite 80s record, and I love it. And I can remember, if this is 1984 or 1983, I can remember, I was only a little kid, but I remember what it was like, and I feel like it is just perfectly captured on here. And, almost their attitude reminds me of what some of my cousins were like, and in the 80s, and there's a rebellion, and but I feel like the era is just so clearly captured, but then musically, it's just such a mixed and loose, like vocally just werewolf vocals. But then, oh, Donna's done her bath. But yeah, I love it just for that mood. And then here's a real easy listening guy. So we got, we listened to this. I listened just to it a lot on my own when we had it on CD. I think Donna got it for the CD for one of her childhood teaching music classes, and she was looking at the liner notes, I remember, and she was like, well, no wonder this record sounds so good. It's produced by Daniel Lanois. And this could be the peak of his production, forget Achtung Baby, or forget Joshua Tree. It's here. And just beautifully recorded, cohesive. Raffi's, he's singing music for kids, but he's really just being himself. Like, it's not like he's not putting on the old persona for the kids. And then here's another easy listening one, and I go to this when I've noticed psychologically. Easy by Ralph McTell. I go to this baby for if I'm having a shitty day, like just and I you know, put it on when we're eating dinner, like something that is just the most not hard on the senses at all. I think honestly, I'm starting to wonder if I got some kind of sensory processing disorder. You know, like with crinkling and TV sounds and someone listening got the radio in their garage over here while someone's mowing the lawn over here. Like it, I, my whole family I think has that issue. Or like I know my cousin JT had he had a meltdown at a movie theater because people were chewing right next to him, and he actually walked out of the theater going like, "Enjoying that popcorn? You chew that? You enjoy that? I'm out of here. Fuck you." It's like I can so relate to that. Like I think it's one of the things that holds us back, he and I, from achieving a level of peace. And my dad's like that too. I think, though the modern world is so freaking noisy, I think you can't blame us. But then this is not the most easy on the ears. Man, well, here's an easy on the ears. Grateful Dead. I'll get into that later. So Transformer, Lou Reed. Not the most easy on the ears. And such a weird atmosphere on it. And I forget where it was recorded, and some stuff with David Bowie. And yeah, and David Bowie's overdubs and background vocals are always weird, and but really good kind of hangout record, and almost a party record for sure. You have if you have mom and dad over with grandma and grandpa, put this baby on and it'll get the party started. So here's another easy listening one. And this one is real special because we listened to this when we were on our honeymoon in Montreal. And I think we had a Buddy Holly CD as well. Buddy Holly and American Beauty by the Grateful Dead. Just really well produced, really good songs. And it's the record for everybody that is like, why are the Grateful Dead so beloved or whatever? Like I think anybody could understand this. And I love the Grateful Dead. I think Jerry Garcia, Bob Weir, on the other hand, it's like, you got to take a lot of Bob Weir to get the Jerry Garcia. But in that way, the Grateful Dead is like life. Life is a lot of Bob and not just a little Jerry. It's like there's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday. Okay, and then here's this one. I haven't listened to it as much lately, but I can foresee in the future always listening to it but there was a while when we had this on CD, and to me this is just I associate this album with Christmas, because I think we got the CD and it was just in heavy rotation over a Christmas holiday in Toronto, and so I'll always, how certain records, if you get them at Christmas, like White Album is like that for me too. We got it for Christmas, so it was just got that little tiny taste of Christmas on it. And this is some kind of Spanish copy or something. I don't want to take it apart, but it's super lo-fi and loose, and there's it's like almost a dejected level of care going into the production of it, but that sounds good. Like, and did they know that sounds good? I don't know. And then here we go, Randy Newman. So this one is, yeah, it's got the amazing Randy Newman, unreliable, um, unreliable old Randy Newman, and but just the production on this and it's just peak analog. It's just, I just feel like one of the best sounding. If I had a hi-fi store, I'd put this on and put on Political Science or something, or Sail Away. Put on Sail Away, and it's not appropriate for an appliance store. But maybe it should be, man. They should be playing Sail Away, But Sail Away, maybe, maybe one of the greatest songs of all time. Like, just... and he's got that other one, Christmas in Cape Town, I feel. That's darker, though. This Sail Away, oh boy. And actually in the same category here is Knilson. Knilson. I just call this one Knilson. Knilson. So me and Harry go back, but this guy, I put it on. It has a funny. It's just can't wait to get the old bones. I said old bones. Like it's like you shouldn't like it, but I fucking love it. The only problem is the Who Done It on side A is sometimes I actually can sit through it a lot of the time and just Harry wants you to hear this. He believed in this enough to make it. See it through his eyes while he was making it. Give it a chance. But a lot of times you're not quite in the mood for that. And but yeah, it's kind of, if you had a shitty day, this is a good one to put on. Old Bones. Like, there's a certain irony there when you put on Old Bones. You just can't wait. And then number one, I don't know if it is number one. This is just a stack of the top 10. I think there might be 10. And I tried to keep it be 10. The Wombles. Keep on Wombling. And if you haven't heard this, oh boy. Devin, if you get to see this, it'll... you'll be blown away. It's just ridiculously good. It's children's music, but it's got a proper BBC budget. Like, there's full orchestras, full rock band. Really, I don't know who produced it. Oh, Mike Batt. So I guess I don't know a lot about the story, but there's one guy singing it who's the voice of the Wombles. And what a voice. He's like McCartney. Like, he's a real, he can just hit these notes that are just perfect. And yeah, it's basically a follow-up to Abbey Road, like, it's that level, and it's maybe better. Like, there's some stuff that's better than the Beatles on here. It's and they do a cover of the Hall of the Mountain King. And this is definitely a Christmas album in a way too, because it does have a Christmas. It's actually a conceptual album of, I think this guy's called Orinoco, and he falls asleep and then he has all these different dreams of one where he's an orchestra conductor, and then another where he's a cowboy, and then another one he's in the jungle. And they do a cover of Hall of the Mountain Womble by Grieg. Oh yeah, but it does have a Christmas song on the end, Wombling Merry Christmas, which back when I was doing streaming, I was on Apple Music for a while, and I used to always make a Christmas playlist, and I always would put We Wish You a Wombling Merry Christmas, which if you're in England, you get that song like just shoved down your throat. But in Canada, it's not in rotation, and it should be. And or where I heard it actually for the first time is when I was on tour with Colleen in Ireland. And I don't like to tour. I don't do well. And though, I mean, sometimes I do. It's like my transit. It's like I'm a bumpy transition into touring. It's like I'm at home, and then it's like, oh, transitioning into touring, and then maybe after about like 2 weeks, I settle in, and I could probably go forever. You know, I can see, but it's the transition in is. It was always so rough, and I think this was at it was like we had a day off and we were in a lot like all the hotels and stuff are interesting places to stay in Ireland. So we're in some giant house and yeah, anyway, it was near Christmas too. It was kind of weird to be going away around Christmas and so I think yeah, I heard this playing over the thing at at the breakfast place and it just like lifted my spirits. I'd never heard it before, and yeah, so that I found out. Oh, you know what it was? I put it together when I was watching that Ramones documentary, where Dee Dee Ramone says they liked the Wombles, and I was like, what? And because I wasn't sure about Wombling Merry Christmas and all this, and it just, oh yeah, Wombles, like, and I had heard about Wombles somewhere else, so finally I put it together, and I just found this, oddly, at Salvation Army in Toronto, this English children's thing, a lot of what do they call it, expats? Okay, I'm getting talked out, man. So, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's free, and you are free to be my friend on YouTube. So thank you. Merry Christmas.